I'm feeling like a brand new me. Brand new, brand new. Brand new, brand new. I blew away the clouds I was standing under. Traded all my rainy days for a little summer. I fly so high right now that I might not come back down. Dancing to my own beat, cherry on the top, sweet. Everything around me is looking up. If life is what you make it, I'ma celebrate it. I'm feeling like a brand new me. For the very first time, I'm where I'm meant to be. I'ma tell everybody.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another live. How we doing?
What's the
up, Evan?
deal?
What's up, Ethan? How we doing?
Good.
What is going on, guys? Let me drag us over so I look like I'm looking in the right direction here. There we go.
I feel like I talk to you guys too much.
Ethan, you can look up at us, and I'm going to look over at Evan here. Perfect. Yep. Just look up. There you go. Yeah, and we'll look over. Yeah. What's going on, guys? We're live over here on Instagram. We're live on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook. Not Twitch, because I don't use Twitch, but any of those other platforms. We're on. We're live. We're here for a Q&A, guys. So any questions you have around scaling your video business, how to get more clients, how to get more leads, like, we're here for it. We're going to kind of open up and chat for a little bit, but as you guys start piling in here, start dropping some questions and comments in the comments below. If you're on YouTube, we can pull you up. If you're on Instagram, I'm gonna look over here and answer any questions you guys have. So what's going on, guys? What's the vibe of the week? How we feeling? What's going on?
Vibe of the week for me is, because it's been a constant theme in a lot of my conversations, has been practice what you preach.
Ooh, I love that.
So that's been the constant across a lot of conversations I've had in the last probably 72 hours.
Yep.
And I decided to make some content on that myself.
Nice.
About that. So I just wrote that today, and I'm gonna film it all tomorrow, and it's gonna be fun.
I love it. Let me see. We have someone saying they have no audio on Instagram. Try unmuting it. Let me see if I can hear myself.
I can hear you guys.
Well, are you on IG right now?
No, but I can try. Hold on.
Let me try. Let me see. Yep, I'm good. We're all set. So if you guys have audio problems, try unmuting, and then try that again. Let me get my camera set up here. So practicing what you preach, what kind of content are you making? What kind of things spark?
So it really stems from the we were talking about, like, I don't remember who I was talking to with specifically, but we were talking about, like, if you're trying to approach like a business owner and you're trying to sell them a content package, and you're promising that that's going to help their, reach and impressions or whatever you're promising them, but you're not actively doing the same thing.
Ooh,
why should they buy it from you?
You're dropping some heat here, man.
And that's just and again, it all goes back to like the thing that we always talk about is like you at the end of the day, for whatever industry you're in, whatever you're doing out there, you can be your own best case study.
Yep. At
the end of the day, if you're having trouble getting people to allow you to get a case study, like, because that's been another theme too. It's like I can't even give work away for free anymore. Because they understand that it's a time burden or suck on them.
Let's dive into that. I was going to say, like, if people are not accepting your free work in exchange for a case study, like if you're just getting started, right? There's a reason, like you said, because of the time it still costs them something. It costs them time.
Yep.
But if you're not building a gap in your sales call, and when you're talking to them, like, hey, you're here, you want to get here, here's how we're going to get you there through content, then they're not even willing to make the time investment. And that's a key thing we look at, right? If people are not willing to do, let you do free work in exchange for a case study, it's because they don't see it as valuable. And you need to build that gap of where they are to where they want to be and show them how it's going to get them there. So you still have to pitch it. Like, you still have to sell it, right?
Yep.
Like, if they're not doing it, it means you're not selling it very well.
Yep.
So like, that's
100%.
Yeah.
And that's just been something that's been kind of a constant thing in a lot of the talks I've had. And that's why I wanted to bring it up today, because I don't think a lot of video creators, videographers, whether you're just starting out or you've been in business for a while, like a lot of them don't take their own content seriously or do it at all.
Or they make content for other videographers.
Yeah,
about
and
gear.
I think
no
that's
one
where,
cares about that.
and I think when it's no fault to them, because I did the same thing when I started.
I did too. Yeah.
Like even before I joined Master Filmmaker, it was like, what do I make content about? Well, I only know about this stuff, so let me make it for this. But
the thing is, clients don't want to know about how the video is made. They want to know what the results of the video are, right?
Yep. And it's a frame shift that you just have to go through. And if you're just like learning that stuff, like you're literally learning as you create. So it's just a process that everybody has to go through. I think the thing that everybody gets hung up on is like, well, I have to go through it to learn it, to be able to talk about it. And then that's the same kind of thing. Like you always say, it's like, I'll go to the gym when I have abs. And it's like, doesn't make sense.
Yep. Yeah. Well, dude, I would on Deer and Films, like I would always post like behind the scenes stuff of like my rigs and like like how I'm like doing the BTS shot. But like it's only attracting other videographers, not other clients, right? You want to think about like who is my ideal client avatar, and then I make content around pain points that they have, right? Yeah. And for them, it's like, how do I get more leads from content? How do I use social content to
leverage it in general?
More attention. Like how do I use long form content to increase the conversion rate on my website? And like, you have to become someone who solves problems, not somebody who's just a videographer, because like they can hire those people, like, and they're gonna put you at like a lower amount.
Yeah, because when you make all that other stuff, like you were just saying, like you just attract other videographers, and then you're growing effectively the wrong audience that you're trying to eventually sell something to, and it's just the
like,
wrong way to go about it.
Want to buy my stuff?
Yeah, it's like because you're talking to yourself, like.
Exactly. Yeah. I think a lot of people get that mixed up. I see you guys on here. If you have comments, questions, what do you have questions around? Drop them in the comments below. Excuse me. Let me know. Is it around getting more leads, getting more clients, how to price yourself higher, how to start implementing retainers? I know a lot of people that follow us don't always know like how to start getting into retainers. They're doing a lot of one-off stuff, but don't know how to get into retainers. If you have questions around that, drop questions below, let us know. And we're happy to answer anything you guys have. But yeah, you got to attract the right people, and then understanding that your clients don't want to know how to do the work. They just want to understand like what the result is and how they can get there quickly. Right. So that's the key thing there. Now let's maybe shift and talk a little bit more about like the retainer model, right? Because there's a lot of other models for growing a business out there. I think the retainer model is the best and the fastest and the easiest way to get to wherever you want to get to, right? As far as growing the business. But I guess, Evan, maybe from you, like, why do you feel like that is? Like, why do you feel like the retainer model is one of the best ways to get there?
Well, I mean, it's the repeatability of it, I think, is the obvious glaring thing. I think most videographers or people that have a video business or whatever, I talk to a lot of people too that come from like LA and like California, and they all have this like, I want to work in film and whatever. And like, you can, but that's like you're becoming a glorified freelancer, and there's nothing wrong with that, but that is not building a business. It's not the connections that you have to make to get in the right spots to have the success in those environments. It's way more work and time than you probably imagine.
Well, and the thing is too, it's like that is I'm trading time for money thing.
Yeah,
right? That's true. I'm a freelancer. I'm going to directly trade my time for money because I just love the craft. That's fine. That's over here. Yeah. But really, what we're doing is how do I leverage a business to get my time back? Right. And not have to worry about like always having direct time input to make direct money. I start to build a team. I build other people around me to start doing things for me. And I have more of like a system where I build that, that L word, which is leverage, Yeah. No, 100%. And it's definitely, obviously the model that I've adopted over the last 4 or so years now. Everybody does one-off stuff here and there, just because. But the name of the game is revenue retention, right? Of course. Like if I can get a client, keep that client for 2 or 3 years, and they pay me $200K over 2 or 3 years, then I have a business that's actually sustainable instead of this like one and done, 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 right? And there's no back end to that. It's like it's fine to do a one project up front. But then what you want to do is sell them on a retainer on the back end and just continue that loop to where you're increasing your revenue retention and increasing your LTV, right? Because it's CAC to LTV is the name of the game when you're growing a business, right? CAC is customer acquisition cost, for anybody who know. And it's like if I can acquire a customer for $1,000, but then they pay me $200K over the next 2 years, then that's a 200-to-1 LTV to CAC ratio. It's like, I can win with that. I can scale that business in.
Yeah.
Right. So that's huge. And I think a lot of times we don't think of this as a business to where like we should keep clients paying us over and over and over again. So then you don't need as many clients. Right. I was talking to Kyle Sanchez. He posted in the Wins group recently, closed the same client he closed once was $33K on a 3-month package. And then he resold them again the next month on another $33K for another 3 months. So that one client's worth $66K to him.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
How many clients of those do you need to get to $1 million a year? You need 12.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks for the math.
So like, don't worry. It's like you need 12 of those to get to $1 million a year. Like it doesn't become so crazy anymore.
Right.
Right. And I can hire people. I can build teams. I can have money to do that stuff and not be stressing all the time. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Ethan, any thoughts on that? I know I've been just talking your ear off, man.
No, I would say no. I mean, I agree. Like Evan said, it's just the repeatability, the consistency, too, of just being able to test things over a period of time, too. Because like the first thing you put out may not be a home run, right? Yeah. So then we've got
first offer you put out, you might need to change it, you might need to tweak it, you might need to adjust it over time. Yeah.
Yep. Or like with ads, you can dump a bunch of money into it and figure it out faster, but not everybody has the capacity to.
Yeah.
Yep. For sure. What questions do you guys have? I see you guys on the live here. We got people on Facebook, people on YouTube. We got people on Instagram. I see Clayton, one of our clients in here. What's going on, dude? Who else do we have? Where are you guys calling in from too? Let us know where you are in the world. We would love to know. Drop that down below. Let us know here. Let's see. Just starting out, and looking how to price my packages right, so I don't want to be too high or too low. Evan, any thoughts on that? Like how to price initially when you're first getting started?
That's I think honestly the biggest sticky situation because you just really don't know. I think I think of what you can look at first is what is it worth for a new client to the client that you're working with. Like you can start there, because then you can kind of work backwards to figure out potentially what you could feasibly do within like what you know how to do.
Yeah.
And then from there you can kind of find a median thing of, okay, it's worth this much for me. It's hard when you
have no results
done it before. Yeah. It's hard when you do that because you always undercut yourself.
Yeah.
You always do.
But that's the name of the game when you're starting. You kind of have to do that. Like if you have no results, no proof, you have no client case studies,
100%.
you have no results that you are who you say you are, then like you should be priced lower and you should just price yourself at a place where you're going to get some people to say yes. And like if you DM us the word retainers, we have like a base level of like pricing for, different retainers and whatnot. But like then what you do, like with Brandon Link, one of our clients right now, like he's priced at, I think it was like 10K for 3 months or something like that. But his close rate is like 65% right now.
Raising prices.
So, yeah. So like when I see a close rate above like 30 or 40%, I'm like, okay, the price is too high, or the price is too low. Let's raise the price. And then it becomes just a lever game to where it's like, okay, my close rate's 65%, let me increase my price from 10K to 15K. And then my close rate probably drops down to like 25 or 30%. Right. And when that happens, I'm like, okay, cool. I'm in the sweet spot. And then you just keep upping your prices until you get to the 25, 30% close rate.
And then eventually you have less clients that you have to manage anyway.
Yeah. Cause you don't want a ton of clients. Like if you could have 12 clients to get to $1 million a year, like that's the perfect scenario. Right. So, but in the beginning, when you have no results and no proof, you kind of got to test different price points to figure out like
100%.
What are people saying yes to? And then you should audit your sales process and be like, is my sales process actually good? Am I building a gap, or am I just like pitching a bunch of crap that they don't need and they don't understand why it's going to actually help them? Right. So like those are kind of the things to look at. Hopefully that makes sense. I think it was Colorado Wake Surfer. Just let us know if you have any questions on that, but that's kind of the thought process there. And then we start to like pull on different levers as we start to scale and start to get to different places. Right. And then back to the retainer model too. I was talking to one of our clients, or one of someone potentially joining the program, and they're doing about 2 million a year. I won't say who it is, obviously. Profit's okay, but all of that 2 million is from one client.
So they go away. What happens?
Exactly. And that's the scary thing, right? So like if you're maybe a larger business who's watching this and you have you have 1 or 2 clients paying you all that money, typically what happens is like 1 or 2 clients, they kind of like stumble their way into these 1 or 2 clients, like they're referred or
Yeah.
like, someone just like gets them the client and then they just never leave. And then like now they're in a place where we call like key client risk, where they only have like, if that one client goes away, the business goes away.
Yeah.
And they're done. Right. And
Yeah.
I made a YouTube video about this the other day, but it's like, you got to diversify with retainers to where you have like larger amount of people paying you maybe a smaller amount, but it's systematized and it's consistent. So then if one person leaves, it doesn't really hurt the business. Right. So
Yeah.
that's some things to think through there for people there.
Yeah, it's like 10% of your revenue. So one person.
Yeah,
goes, you're down
if
to
one
90%,
person,
not 100 to 0.
yeah. So then if one person leaves, then like it's not that big of a deal. You don't really lose that much revenue, right? But the other thing is like a lot of companies, I know we talked about this and maybe we expand on this too. A lot of companies are moving away from one and done large commercials because like it's too risky for them. Like if that commercial flops, then they're out $100,000. So like a lot of these larger production companies who are used to doing 100K commercials are now like, people are just not doing it anymore because they're not interested in that. They want more social content. They want more variety. Evan, maybe you want to talk about that a little bit.
No, yeah, I was kind of talking to somebody in my DMs the other day, and he was like, "Yeah, I do stuff for like Amazon and like Best Buy and this, that, and the other." And I was like, "What's the big issue for you right?" And he's like, "I can't find clients." And I'm like, "Okay, so let's fix that, right?" Yeah. But yeah, it's about finding, it's about understanding what you're ultimately doing for them, and understanding what you actually can do for them. Like you were saying, like the having packages around different styles of content, right? I think also too, I don't remember who I saw post something about this, but they were talking about like, I think you've talked about too, Eric, like nobody can do the things as good as you do, right? So you like build your business on this like style, right? And that's what you believe people actually want, when we all know that they just want the result of the content. It's not the style.
I can train someone on style though. I can train someone on style.
Exactly.
Yeah. You literally just have to operationalize how you do the style. We use this types of music. We use these type of transitions. We use this type of cutting. This is the idea behind it. You just make a document and you train someone. Like it's not hard.
Yeah.
It's not like
Here's
people
the
say
color
stuff
grade
for
and all that.
years.
Yeah.
Like, because they're scared of hiring someone because they're like, they can't do it as good as me.
Yeah.
Like, bro, do you want to be doing it forever though? Like, come on. Like, 100%. Do you want to, and 80% done by someone else is 100% awesome. And it's better than 100% done perfect by you. Yeah. Because like, you can't grow a business doing it all yourself. Like, perfect analogy. I use it all the time. Can you win a Super Bowl with one person?
No, you can't technically.
So then how are you expecting to scale to multiple 7 figures in your business with one person?
Yeah. Can't do it.
Like, how is that going to work? It's not, right? So like, we have to hire other people. We have to find good people and we have to train them on what we want. And then we start to buy our time back, hand off the editing, move up to just doing the videography and sales, hand off the videography, just do the sales, hand off the sales, just do the marketing, right? And then you climb this ladder where like you're only doing the things that make more money in the business. Yeah. And you're not so much like just being bogged down with all the stuff. Question, how about merchandising? Does it add value? I don't know what that means. I need you to clarify there. I don't know what merchandising means.
Meaning like make digital products to sell them?
Maybe. Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe, but yeah, you have to keep the main thing. I see this too much. Like people, they niche hop, and I want to niche slap them all the time. I got that from Hormozy, where it's like, dude, stop changing your niche, stop changing your offer. Like any offer can be successful. Yeah, you're just not good enough. Like that's usually what it is. Yeah. And I could say that because like I wasn't good enough at one point, and I thought, oh, maybe if I just change the people I'm talking to, it's like you're gonna have the same problems though, right? Yep. So I don't know. That's just like an off tangent, but it's like a lot of people want to like keep changing niches because, oh, this didn't work or this. It's like, dude, you're just not good enough. Like that's why.
Yeah. Well, because there's also too, there's a difference between like change, like, because I think some people like even that come through the program, they're like, oh, I'm going to target this person. I'm going to target this person, but they're going to end up selling the same thing to the next person. And it's like, just tweak what you're selling potentially or whatever. You know what I mean? You can tweak the offer all day long. Don't tweak who you're trying to give it to.
Yeah, I'm not saying like you shouldn't make pivots, but I am saying like changing from like lawyers to medical companies or medical companies to lawyers or lawyers to
Yeah.
home service companies or whatever, like
Yeah.
it's not going to make a difference,
Yeah.
right? Like you got to get better and you have to build social proof in that one area. And one
Mhm.
thing that I think creatives are really bad at, and I was too, is like staying focused on one thing that's super boring. Like you're going to make more money when you do the boring shit that no
Mhm.
one wants to do. Like
Mhm.
nobody wants to do it. It's not sexy. It's not exciting. It's not traveling to different countries to shoot different content all the time. It's not that exciting, but that's where you build an actual business that makes money. If that's your goal,
100%.
you know?
100%.
Couple of questions here. I'm curious, what are your thoughts on networking groups like BNI? They usually have a weekly required time commitment of about 2 hours, which seems like a lot of time spent versus what you get from it. Evan?
So I'll say this. Things like BNI, it kind of depends on the person and it depends on the area. Like, for example, Eric Graham,
Yep.
he went into a BNI and like exploded his business.
Yep.
Right.
What did,
It was
do?
the right fit for him at that particular time. It's not always advantageous though when you look at marketing or networking.
It's
groups.
just a traffic source, right?
It
It's
really
like,
is. Yeah. And if you don't get it, if that BNI chapter sucks, the people there don't
if the
believe in
quality of the
content,
traffic isn't good.
yeah, if it
then-
sucks, then yeah, it sucks. And then you've spent $2,000 or $3,000 or whatever they charge. So
Yep.
it's not cheap. And it's really a gamble, but also everything in life is, right?
Well, what I would tell you is like if you don't have your offer figured out, your sales,
Yeah,
if
then
you're
it
not
doesn't
good at
matter.
your sales process, like none of
Yeah.
that's going to matter. So like
Yeah.
if you're not good at your offer, you don't have an offer that's selling already, you don't have a sales process that's working, like you need to get better at sales, then like focus on those two things first
Mhm.
before you start pouring more traffic in. Cause it's like having a crappy or shitty sales process is like pouring water into a bucket that has a bunch of holes in it.
Holes in it. Yeah.
Like you're gonna maybe catch one or two things, but like you're spending all this money and time pouring traffic into a bucket that just has a bunch of holes. Like
Yeah.
people are just gonna fall right out, right? So it's like you have to ironclad that first, make that better, and
Yeah.
then I mean, BNI, that's a traffic source. Does it require more effort than like ads? Yes, because you have to go in person, you have to do all this work, but it is a traffic source, and it like all you're doing is like you have an offer, you have a sales process, and you're putting traffic into it. Whether that's BNI or ads or whatever, ads is just the most scalable because you don't have to go in person. Like imagine if I had to door knock.
Always working.
It's always working for you while you sleep. Like
Yeah.
imagine if you have to door knock for every client. Like it's going to take a lot more time, or rely
Yeah.
on word of mouth or referrals or whatever, right? It's like it just is not consistent. We need
And well, I think
consistent-
also too, like ads are like the catalyst to everything. So like I made a piece of content about this in the past where it's like, imagine if you're running ads and then you want to go do those like local networking things. When you walk into those spaces, if you've been running ads for even a week or two, like as you're just starting and you walk in and somebody's like, hey, I just saw your face on Facebook. Like I just saw it. Like, it's like you're like instant celebrity to that person because they're making now these multiple connections to you. And that's why I think ads are always honestly the best place to start. People just don't do them because they think that they're scary.
You're just
And-
letting more people know about your
Yeah.
offer. It's literally it's organic content with guaranteed reach.
Yeah,
That's all it is.
100%. Yeah.
So if your ads aren't working, it's either your ad sucks, your offer sucks, you're not talking to the right pain points,
Yep.
or like there's something wrong on your end. As long as it's an industry that you can actually target.
Yeah. And when you say targeting in the back end, the science of it doesn't even really matter much anymore.
Doesn't matter
Like,
anymore.
It's
Yeah.
all about the creative.
Yep. Ethan, I'm gonna kick this one over to you. I've never really measured social proof, but but I do have past clients. I'm also apprehensive to offer a guarantee. How do you pitch that when you don't feel confident about your results? I think there's a deeper problem there, but Ethan, I'll let you elaborate.
Yeah, I would just start with, if you don't feel confident about the results, then I wouldn't
Get case
guarantee.
studies.
I wouldn't. Yeah, well, yeah. Get case studies, and then just do some discounted or free work for people, and just get more practice getting those results. Because if you have the guarantee and then you don't get the results, you might have dug yourself
Yes.
into a hole.
Disaster. Yeah. Yeah.
If it's like hey, I'll work with you for free until XYZ happens,
but you've never actually achieved the result.
Yeah,
for
if you've never done it, go out and do it. Not just once, but a couple times, and then
state the facts and tell the truth. Don't say you can do things that you've never done before.
You could be in
don't do
a
that.
sticky situation.
Please don't do that. Like that's a horrible idea. And there's a lot of people out there that are doing that, and it makes everybody look really shitty. So like, don't do that. But what I would say is like, go back to the past clients, ask them the type of results that they got. Ask them, like, I don't know, what industry are you working in, Blue Squall Media? Like, what kind of clients are they? If you drop that down below, but like, go back, ask them what results they got. Like, number one, how did they use the videos? And number two, what sort of results did they get from the videos? And then confidence comes from competence. So like, I have confidence because we have hundreds of case studies and I'm tired of recording them all the time. Like, it's annoying how many we have, but like, your confidence comes from competence. Like, you don't just like make it up and be like, oh, I don't, I feel like I'm confident. It's like, you have to have results to back it up. Like, if you don't, then like, what are we doing? So like, go back to the past clients and ask them for, what kind of results they got. If they got good results, get case studies. We have a script on YouTube that I use. And then I probably wouldn't offer a guarantee until you're confident in the results, because like, you don't deserve to offer that yet, if I'm being harsh. So Evan, thoughts?
No, well, I was just going to say, because my current coach says, offering a guarantee probably isn't as scary as you probably think that it is. Because when you go get those case studies or you have those conversations with people, results come in all shapes and sizes too.
Yep.
That's what a lot of people get stuck in, this like rigid frame of like, results are just numbers and this, that, and the other. Whereas to some people, business owners, whatever, results can be, we have an entire library of video content now to use as marketing assets. And I spent 4 hours doing them.
Yep.
And it saved me so much time.
Yeah.
And now we have all of it, right? It's not necessarily like, oh, we generated this much money.
Yep.
Right. Because that is still potentially to come.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, there's like time saved, money generated, awareness generated, followers generated, engagement generated.
Is reach and impressions. Because if somebody's not doing content, immediately when you start doing it, it's like you can deliver on the guarantee at like the first 10 posts.
Yeah. And like, I always like, I would get like level 1 social proof. So I'd be like, it was great working with Eric. Like that's level 1.
Yeah.
Level 2 is like, they got me some sort of result. Level 3 is like, they made me money. Right. So like, start with level 1 and just stack as much proof as you can. Like, people, like at the very base, like just help people understand that you have been paid for work before, which gives them confidence to pay you. Right.
Yeah.
So like, start there and then just keep stair-stepping your way up. Like, you're not going to have all the results in the world in the beginning, and that's okay. But like, just stair-step your way up to that and get as much proof and document as many results as you got. Like, it was great working with him. Great. That's level 1. And then like, he got me some sort of result with engagement, like followers or whatever. Right.
Yeah.
And then like, you can guarantee around engagement, followers, reach, like, and then like, when you start making people more money and you're confident in that, then you can start guaranteeing around like the money side. Right.
Yeah.
So like, don't get too in your head, but just document all the results.
And you don't know anything until you ask. So you got to ask at the end of the day.
Ethan, didn't you have I keep bringing this up, but didn't we have a client that didn't ask and then they found out their video made like $1 million for this company?
Yeah, I forget who it was.
It was like a chiropractor, I think.
It was Chad or somebody like that. But yeah, I see that with a lot of people. Is like Evan said, you don't know until you ask, and a lot of people just haven't asked.
It's like, did you go back and ask? Like, no.
Yeah. Well, and I think that can give you a lot of Blue Squall, give you a lot of confidence. It's just going back and asking and seeing how things
that will help. Yeah, because then you're like, oh man, like I have all these people that said I did this thing. You can borrow the confidence by just looking at all the stuff you did. Like, if you ever feel like, oh man, I don't really know if I'm feeling confident today, it's like, go watch your case studies. Like, that is a surefire way to get people fired up. And like, for my sales team too, like I have them watch the case studies. It gets them fired up and then they get confident, right? It's like, that's how you build that confidence at the end of the day. So
Yep. 100%.
Last question. Being just an editor, is it advantageous for me to get into camera gear and doing actual shooting as well? What should my pathway be, having only done editing? So I would say, like, what is your goal? Do you just want to be an editor? Like, if you just want to be an editor, then no. Do you want to run a business where you hire people? Because like, you could just hire a videographer. You don't have to learn how to do it. So it's like, just what is your goal is number one, the question. And then number two, like, what do you want at the end of the day? So I would ask yourself.
You could run an editing business too. There's a lot of those out there as well.
Yeah.
Do editing only. Yep.
I know a lot of our clients probably want to talk to you. So
yeah,
they might. Yeah.
We have a lot of clients that need editors. So thanks. Love the different levels of social. That's cool. Absolutely. You got it. Any other questions, guys? And then we got to wrap it up. We got meetings and clients to help here. Going once. Going twice. Let's see. Sold. All right. Cool. All right, guys. Great live. Let us know if you have any questions. Check out the YouTube content. If you want to learn more about what we actually do at Master Filmmaker, go ahead and go to either masterfilmmaker.com, book a call, or if you're on YouTube, go down below and book a call with us. We're happy to help. And we will see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Boom. Peace out.
Peace.
I'm feeling like a brand new me. Brand new, brand new. Brand new, brand new. I blew away the clouds I was standing under. Traded all my rainy days for a little summer. I fly so high